I kind of already articulated where my contours were going to go, so I can kind of follow those, right? And you're going to be real careful to make sure that when you're going in here, you blacken it out perfectly. So you're going to do one of these where you leave the negative space white. I call that the negative space drawing because the white, to me, jumps out from the black a little bit better. Then you're going to do one the other way. And you will probably have difficulty with one more than the other. And I want you to pay attention to that when you're working. Because when you're analyzing objective elements and you're trying to get a good rendering of that, it doesn't make sense to use the analysis of the one that you had a hard time with. So I don't often use positive space analysis. And I don't use this all the time. I use it when I have really complex subjects like this, where there's a lot of intricacy and openings happening in there. For like almost a whole year last year when they were putting this building up, there was a crane that was super, super tall, like taller than the building. Beautiful, beautiful silhouettes happening from that. And a lot of the students were drawing that really articulate, detailed stuff, kind of like all the little white spaces that come through the Eiffel Tower, right? That kind of stuff. Filigree, stencil type stuff. It's really difficult to try to draw that in a positive manner because if you get one little part of that off, it's going to be difficult for you to make the whole drawing look right. So a lot of times we'll look at that negative space instead of the positive space. I do the same thing when I'm dealing with a foreshortened figure. Like if I have a hand or an arm or a foot coming at me, I'll look at the negative space around it because normally I would want to, like maybe this is happening with some of you now when you're drawing your hands, right? Maybe some of you want like a perfectly clean, like handprint that's just, you know, nice and shapely. But we're doing this, and so sometimes they go in weird directions and it doesn't look right. So we're not looking at the symbolic aspect of the hand. We're thinking about the negative space around it, and would that fit in like a jigsaw puzzle, right? So with the time that we have left in class here, and again, as enchanting as it is to watch me paint stuff, I want you to, and it kind of helps if you get with a couple of people and set some things up in different windows. That way, you know, you collab on something interesting. Shut the lights off and then get a really nice photograph with your phone. And then you'll want to probably take a sheet of this sulfite with you and at least get the drawing rendered. And it's best if you do that like on a very, very flat surface. Like I wouldn't do it on your cardboard, or else you're going to have like cardboard texture everywhere. So in the end here, I'm just going to have basically like a shadow or a silhouette. Sometimes it's a good idea to look at the way shadows drop from things like this to analyze the negative versus the positive, right? Yeah, I wish I had a bigger brush. We'll be breaking out many different sizes of brushes when we do this. So ideally, Wednesday, you'll come in with a good drawing that represents what you've taken a reference photo of, okay? Nice and big. That way we can get to the inking of this right away. Cool?